end up to 4 o'clock here. Is it clear? Yes, so reserve your worker, reserve your courses and everything. We are not going to spend up to 4 o'clock. Now, so I remember we discussed the pictogram. That was all we discussed, right? We were to move into other types of graphs. So quickly, everybody, please bring out your respective notes and let us begin. The next graph, who remembers what we said about the pictogram? Who remembers? We said it is what? A graphical technique, right? That uses conventional what? Symbol. Good. So please give me a moment. Here's the matter. Okay. Thank you. Okay. I will ask you after. Okay. So please let's be very fast because I would want to get to I think the latter graph. So let's start with reminding ourselves what we did. Please. We discussed the pictogram in the last class. And we said the pictogram is a graphical technique that uses conventional pictures to describe or organize data. And we explained using examples, what the pictogram can do. I remember telling us in this class, a disadvantage. I think one disadvantage of the pictogram and one advantage. What was the disadvantage? I told you that the pictogram is not efficient for describing fractional data. Did I mention that in this class? Yes, sir. Good. So, however, the advantage of the pictogram remains, one advantage of the pictogram remains that it is very, very good for giving a visual picture about a data. Now, the next one we were to look at was which one? The bar chart. Thank you very much. So let's begin with the bar chart. So please write the bar chart. Is somebody writing? Yes, sir. Thank you very much. So the bar chart is a graphical technique. The bar chart is a graphical technique for organizing or describing data using rectangular bars that are equally spaced. Comma, and showing a plot of frequencies against commodities or quantities or even time. Full stop. I'm going to explain. Now, I don't want us to waste any time on any of these things, so please, I'm going to be very fast about my explanations. Is it clear? Yes, so, now, if you see one thing common to all our definitions as we proceed, if you ask me what is a bar chart, I will tell you that a bar chart is a graphical technique, but I won't stop there. If you ask me what is a pictogram, I will tell you it's a diagrammatic technique or a pictorial technique. If you ask me what is a pie chart, I will tell you it's a pictorial technique. You see it? You will notice that all of them are either pictorial techniques, diagrammatic techniques, or what? Graphical techniques for describing or organizing what? Data. Is it clear? But even as all of them may be graphical in nature, even as all of them may be diagrammatic in nature or pictorial in nature, one thing is for sure, they do those organizations or descriptions differently. So the question now is, how does the bar chart do its own diagrammatic or graphical, and what do you call it, description? How does it do its own? And the answer is here. So we started with saying that a bar chart is what? A graphical technique, right? For doing what? For organizing or describing what? Data. From this statement here down to the last, you will see that that's all the statements I've made after that answers the question, how does it do it? So if you ask, how does the bar chart, being a graphical technique for organizing or describing data, do its own organization or what? Description. It does it by using what? Rectangular bars that are what? Equally spaced. You see it? And that show or that are showing a plot of frequencies against what? Commodities. If not commodities, quantities. If not quantities, time. You see it? So it can be any of these. Is it clear? That is the first story we are going to say under what? The bar chart. Now, let's come over to the second story. Paragraph number 2. Each point goes into a paragraph. So paragraph number 2. There are two categories. There are two categories of bar charts commonly used. There are two categories of bar charts commonly used for organizing / describing what? / describing data. They are 1, two-dimensional bar charts, and 2, three-dimensional what? Three-dimensional bar charts. Okay? Now, however, as the focus, even as there are two categories, if you are talking about bar charts, please, when you get home, if you have a system that has an office in it, go to Microsoft Excel and go to graphs. You will see them. Do you understand me? You will see 3D bar charts. You will see what? 2D bar charts. So whether the bar charts are categorized as 2D, two-dimensional bar charts, or what? Three-dimensional bar charts. What my however here means is what I want to show you next. However, as the focus in this lecture will be on, 2D bar charts, we shall consider the following types. Namely 1, or let's use A. Now, whether 2D bar chart or 3D bar chart, the types remain the same. Do you get me? So the types we are mentioning could be 2D, they could be what? 3D. Number 1, we have what we call the single bar chart. Okay? The single what? Bar chart. I'm going to explain. Number 2, being B, we have what we call the component bar chart. And C, we have what we call the multiple bar chart. Is it clear, everybody? We have what we call the single bar chart, the component bar chart, the multiple bar chart. So guys, what am I saying in essence? Whether 2D or 3D, a 2D bar chart can be a single 2D what? Bar chart. Is it clear? A 2D bar chart could be a 2D component bar chart. A 2D bar chart could be a 2D multiple bar chart. And when you move away from that category to 3D, you could have a 3D single bar chart, a 3D component bar chart, and what? A 3D multiple bar chart. Now, how does a 2D appear? A 2D appears just plain on a plain surface like this. But when you go to a 3D, you'll be seeing in your Excel sheet something that looks like block like this. I don't know if you've seen something like that. You'll be seeing something like this. So when you start seeing them appearing to be shapes, that is 3D. Is it clear? So we are not dealing with this in our discussion. We are dealing with what? This one. Am I understood? Now, so let us start our discussion with what? Single bar chart. Answering the question, what makes a single bar chart single? What makes a component bar chart component? And what makes a multiple bar chart multiple? That's one question we want to answer. The second question we want to answer is, even as what makes a single bar chart is this or that, under what circumstance should we be using a single bar chart? Under what circumstance should we be using a component bar chart? And under what circumstance should we be using what? A multiple bar chart. Are we okay? Let's answer that question quickly, then take examples. Please, can I wipe this off? So let's answer this question. Let's start with single bar chart. Let's start with single bar chart quickly. Let's start with single bar chart. Are we there? So, single bar chart. Now, please, some textbooks will just call this bar charts. Okay? Or ordinary what? Bar chart, if they don't call it single. So, please write, a single bar chart is one in which frequencies are plotted against only one commodity, quantity, or even times. So, if you are using a single bar chart, once somebody tells you that I use a single bar chart, what he's telling you is that I only considered the frequencies in relation to what? One commodity. Do you understand me? Now, for what do you call it? Component bar charts. For component bar charts, we say a component bar chart is one in which frequencies are plotted against more than one commodity. More than one commodity, quantity, or time consideration. In which case, a set of commodities, quantities, a set of commodities or quantities are composed in each single bar. In which a set of commodities are composed in each single bar. Now, please listen, everybody. Listen, so that you don't just write. Please. The difference between the single bar chart, ordinary bar chart, or just the bar chart, and the component and multiple bar chart is that single is one set of frequency against one commodity. Is it clear? One set of frequency against one commodity. Multiple or components, one set of frequency against what? More than one quantity. Is it clear? Now, if you now come to the two of them. What makes this one different from this one is the fact that in component bar chart, several quantities will be composed in one bar. You will have several quantities in one bar. But in multiple, you would have several quantities laid side by side each bar. Now, when we plot them, you will see they are very simple. All of them are very simple. Ignore the stories, but they are very, very simple to understand. So, for component bar chart, a component bar chart is what? Is one in which frequencies are plotted against what? More than one commodity, quantity, or time consideration. In which case, a set of commodities or quantities are what? Composed in one bar. This statement here, composed in one bar, is what makes the component bar chart different from what? The multiple bar chart. Is it clear? Now we will see that. Let's take the last, let's take a statement under that same component. Should I dictate? Should I dictate? It will be faster. Okay, please write. I like dictating as I'm writing. So I'm used to the two. So please write paragraph under this, under component bar chart, another paragraph. Let's make another point there. Component bar charts. Component bar charts are suitable for use. Component bar charts are suitable for use when there is more space vertically, on a graph sheet than horizontally on the same graph sheet for the plot. So if I give you a graph sheet and you see the plots needed, common sense will just tell you if you need more space, if there is enough space vertically, it will be preferable for you to go with what? Component bar chart. That is, if, for example, the graph is long and the horizontal part of the graph is small, it will be good you go for what? Component bar chart. Because component bar chart needs more space vertically, not what? Horizontally. So if you encounter any problem with space, you will know which out of the two. Two of them will do the same thing. But it's just a matter of your preference. And your preference will be informed by what? The amount of space you have. Is it clear? So if you have more space in your graph sheet vertically, go with what? Component bar chart. But if you have more space horizontally, go with what? Multiple bar chart. Is it clear? So let's go to multiple bar chart now, everybody. Multiple bar chart. Multiple bar chart. A multiple bar chart is one in which frequencies are plotted against more than one what? One commodity, against more than one commodity, quantity, or time consideration. And in which case, I want my language to be similar, and in which case a set of commodities or quantities they are no longer composed in one bar, are placed what? Side by side. You see it now? Good. Now, all these nonsense we've written on the board will become very visual and very easy to understand with an example. Is it clear? So with an example, we will make all these statements we've made very, very clear. So which one can I wipe off? This? I can wipe that, right? So let's wipe this off. I would want us to move very fast so that we go into measures of central tendency. I want us to move very, very fast. Not today, I'm just saying, I'm talking about moving away from this topic so that we don't waste time. Now, let's call this, I think this should be our second example. So let's call it what? Example 2. Now, the data below shows a record of the number of cars, imported per year in millions from 210 to 219. I think 210 to 219 is 10 years, right? (210 to 219). It's 9 years. So now, so I'm going to put here years. I'm going to put, okay, I'm going to put years, and I'm going to put what? Frequency. You know what my frequency is? Okay, let's put it the way it came in the question. Number of what? Cars. You see it? Number of cars is another name for what? Frequency. Now, I'm going to put here 210. I'm going to put here 211, 212, 213, 214, 215, 216, 217, 218, 219. Come on. How has our country been? Okay, tell me if I'm wrong anyway. In 210, who was the president of this country? Was Good Luck. Good. So things were better then. Now let's assume that we had in millions. Now I'm going to put in millions here so that we don't put too much value. So I'm going to put here, let's put here 50,000 cars. So when you see 50 million cars, I'm just giving an instance. Or should we, let's put 5. Then in 2011, 7 million cars were imported. In 2012, it rose to 9 million cars imported in that year. In 2013, we had when did Buhari take over? 2014. So tell me, because that's when things changed. Okay, so it rose. You have let's say things were not too favorable in that year. 2014, it became 9 again. 2015, it became 2. It became 1 in 2016. Then it rose to, let's say, 4. This is 3 and this is 6. Let's assume. So each of them here, because the data is in millions, represent what? 5 million, 7 million, 9 million. Okay? Now, what we want to do is, the data below shows a record of the number of imported cars imported by year in millions for what? From 210 to 219. So complete the question with saying plot a suitable what? Bar chart for the problem. Full stop. Are you listening? Now, which one, when we say plot a suitable bar chart, we have not told you to plot an ordinary or single bar chart. We have not told you to plot a multiple bar chart. We have not told you to plot what? A component bar chart. So which out of the 3 is suitable for this problem? It will be what? A single bar chart. And the reason why it is a single bar chart is because we are considering frequencies against what? Just one what? One instance of time. Do you see it? Now, I will clean this off. I believe you are done. I'll clean this off. Let's put up something that looks like a typical graph sheet. Let's look at, so I'm going to come over here. Please take note. For bar charts, you'll be the one to decide your key and your scale rather. So let's assume that you have a graph sheet like this. Okay? Let's assume you have a graph sheet like this. I think this is how your graph sheet should look like. Something finer than this one. So let's assume we have a graph sheet like this. The people that know how to draw straight lines better are women. Women can draw straight lines than men, but not on paper, on their faces. You tell a woman now, draw a small diagram. They are so poor at drawing things on paper. But, God, the same woman, just tell her, they don't even waste 1 minute to do something on their lips. They just do like, the one question I don't know how to answer is, when you draw it, why do you always do this here? Okay. Am I the one that said it? And who are the beneficiaries? Why do you draw something that will be cleaned off? Eh? Something you yourself will ask for it to be cleaned off. You draw it. I don't know. So, you're asking me who will clean it off. Okay, now, let's assume that this is a typical graph sheet. Okay? I'm saying observe the data because you may not be given a scale. And when you're not given a scale, choose a suitable scale for yourself. Let me explain a graph sheet to you, please. Just for reminder's sake. Please, each of these small boxes, all these small boxes are squares. And their dimension is 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter. Is it clear? Now, depending on how your data is, you will now choose, you'll be the one to choose whether to use 1 centimeter to 1 unit. Each line you see here is a unit. Okay? It's 1 centimeter. Now, you can decide, looking at the data here, looking at that data, if I choose to use 1 centimeter to 1 unit, I'll be good. Because the maximum I have here is what? Is 10. If I choose to use 1 centimeter to represent 2 units, there will be no need for that because it will be too small. But if you use 2 centimeter to 2 units, it will not contain. I hope you know. 2 centimeter to 2 units does not even make sense in this case. Or 2 centimeter to 1 unit does not make sense in this case because you may not have the space to contain 10. So the best to go with will be what? 1 centimeter to 1 unit. That means that after 1 centimeter to 1 unit means after every small box, I'm going to write what? 1. So I'm going to put what? 2 here, 3 here, 4, 5, and so on. But if I say 2 centimeter to 1 unit, it means after 2 small boxes, I will write what? 1. And if I do that, look at what will happen. If I write 1 here after 2 small boxes, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'll be having a problem with accommodating what? 10. Do you see it? I hope you follow what I'm saying. So in this instance, based on the space I have, I would prefer to go with what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Me doing this means that I am using 1 centimeter, the space of 1 small box, to what? 1 unit. If you say 1 centimeter to 10 units, it means that after every small box, this will be what? 10. The next will be 20, 30. Is it clear? Now, I will call here frequency. I just put number of what? Hertz. Is it clear? Then I will come to the horizontal here. Under my horizontal, I'm going to put here. What am I putting? Here. You see it? Now, because the bar chart uses bars that are equally spaced, I'm going to use bars, so I'm going to put a space. I can decide to go with your own choice, maybe leave 2 spaces before a bar. Leave 2 spaces before a bar. Eh? For me, I'm going to go with what? 1 space because there are many here. So under, if I leave the first space between 0 and here, I'm going to call this one bar. I'm going to put 210 here. You see it? I'll leave a space, and this will be what? 211. The next will be what? 212, 213, 214, 215, 216. You see, it's not enough, so you have to accommodate it in your notes up to what? 219. But let's use this one. Now, once you have done that, what would you do? Come to 210. 210. How many cars? 5 million cars, and we are saying in millions, right? So we have 5. I'm going to come here and put, and we'll drag this straight line up to what? 5. You could shade it because of the nature of our own graph. You just shade it. So I have plotted that one. That's easy to do now. Now you go to 211. You drag it up to what? 7. So you drag it to 7, and this is what you will have. You can shade this one. You see it? You come over to 212. You drag it up to what? 9. This will be for 9. You shade it. You come over to 210. 210, right? Really? That means you won't be able to hear me. Who will verify? For how long? Just now. Okay. Remove the antenna. Remove the antenna. Okay. The environment is at least quiet. Is it not so? Yes, sir. Now, okay, so I've made that adjustment to the problem now. Do you see what I have done? I have now made, what I've done is I have introduced more than one quantity or commodity. It was formerly one quantity or commodity in cars, but now it is now what? Cars and what? Rice bags in millions. So see what I'm going to do to the data? I'm going to do this to the data now. So I'm going to add to the data another column. You see, and I'll put in this column. I'm going to put in this column. I'm going to put 1. I'm going to put here 2. I'm going to put 4. No, let me put here 4. I have my reasons for space 6. Let me put here 1. Let me put here 1. Let me put here 2. Let me put here 3. Let me put here I want to put here 4. I'm going to put 5 here. I'm going to put 3 here. I'm going to put let's put 6 here. That's not done anything wrong with us. I'm going to put here 3. Okay? Now, please write that data. I have adjusted that data. Now, because I have adjusted that data, the question now says, plot a what? A suitable bar chart for the problem. What bar chart will be suitable for this problem? Are we still going to go with single bar chart? Yes, sir. The answer is a big no. Is it clear? Yes, sir. Why? Why won't we go for a single bar chart? It is because we now have more of them. You see the frequency of more of them in relation to what? So let's come over here. I'm going to clean this up. I hope I can clean this up. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I'm giving 1 minute. Please get that done. Just focus on the board. Please. So I'm giving 1 minute for that quickly so that we move to the next type of chart. After our bar chart, which one are we going to? Pie chart, right? Or line graph? Line graph. Line graph. Is line graph? Yes. Okay. I would love to stop by 3:35, 3:40. I hope you can do that. Yes, so please. Can I wipe it off now? Yes. Huh? Wipe it. If you are saying I shouldn't wipe it, it means you have a bad neighbor beside you. Okay, so let's now plot. I'm going to do. Let's start with this. So I'm not going to draw the graph. I only use that one to show you how the graph should be. Yes, so I'm going to maintain 1 unit, 1 centimeter to 1 unit. I'm going to maintain that 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. But the maximum I need is 12. Then, let me come over here and do this. So, what I want to do here, are you listening? Yes, sir. What I want us to do first of all is to plot a component bar chart for that problem. Then after plotting a component bar chart, I want us to now plot a multiple bar chart because when you say suitable bar chart, it does not specify. And for this one, this particular problem, whether multiple or what you call the component, both of them are what? Suitable. Is it clear? Yes, so see what I'm going to do now. I will come over, if you are plotting a component bar chart. Remember we say several bars are composed in one. Now, what I'm going to do in your exam, please just look up. It is easier to do this way. 2010, I'm going to give one space and go to 2010. In 2010, what do you find here? 5 million cars and what? 4 million bags of what? Rice. 5 plus 4 will give you what? 9. I will drag this up to 9, the highest point of my bar, and then I will take car to be the bottom. So I'm going to put what we call a key. So I'm going to put my key here. You just put a key. See what I'm going to do for my key? I'm going to put here black. I'm going to put here blue. You can put any type of key. Black for me will be what? Cars. And blue for me will be what? Rice. Is it clear? Yes. So for 2010, rice took what? 5. So I'm going to start from here. 1, 2, 3 to what? 5. I will demarcate here. I use black to shade. Then, if from here to here is 5 out of 9, it means the remaining is what? The remaining is what? 4. Is it clear? Yes. And how many bars have I composed in one bar? 2 bars are composed in what? 1. When you do this, you are using the composite bar chart. Is it clear? Yes. Come over to 211. 7 plus 1 will give me what? 8. I'm going to drag this up to what? 8. Drag it up to 8. Drag down. And demarcate 7 and what? 1. Is it not so? Yes. Black will be the 7 for cars, and blue will be the what? 1. For rice. Now, you can, in your own key, whereas I'm using black and blue, you could use vertical stroke and horizontal stroke. You can use dots and what? Vertical, anything you want to use, just to differentiate. Now, come over to 212. This is 211. This is 212. In 212, what do you have? 10. Drag it up to what? 10. And split. If you split, it will be along what? 9 and 1. Is it not so? So I'm going to do this for 9. Yeah. And I'm going to do this for what? 1. Come to 214 or 213. This is 214. 213, I will do what? 12 again, right? Or 12. And split it along what? 10 and 2. 10 and 2. So this will be black. And this will be what? Blue. So when you do something like this, you are actually using what? A composite bar chart to classify that data. Complete the remaining. Complete the remaining quickly. Let's go to a multiple bar chart. You can complete it now, right? Yes, sir. So complete it quickly. Yes. We'll do it later, right? So now, okay, see what I'm going to do. Look up. See what I'm going to do. Now let me assume that you will continue it. And do this now. So I'm going to put this again as if it's a second. So let's put like dot here. Is it clear? Up to 219. So I'm going to put here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And we have here 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right? Now, this is 210, 211. No. Now, there are 2 bars placed side by side. So I'm going to take these 2 and call it 210. I'm going to give a space and take the next 2 and call it what? 211. I'm going to still maintain this queue. I'm going to take the next 2 and call it what? 212. And so on. So let's do first and take the rest yourself. Now, let's drag. So for 210, you have 5 and 9. Is it not so? 5 and 4, sorry. I'm going to drag to 5 for cars. And paint it black. Then the other one is what? 4. and I'll paint it what? Blue. You see it? Yes, sir. This will describe the data for 210. I will now go to what? 211. For 211, I'm going to drag up to what? 7 for cars, right? Yes, sir. So this will be 7 for cars, shaded black, and the other one is what? 1. So this will be 1, shaded what? Blue. Then I will go to 212. 212 is what? 9, right? 9, shaded black, and what? 1, shaded blue. 1 shaded blue. You see? So when you do this, you are using a multiple bar chart. But when you do this, you are using what? A component bar chart. Is it clear? Yes, sir. The bars are placed side by side. The bars are composed in one. Is it clear, everybody? Yes, sir. So let's go to line graph. Let's go to line graph. Yes, please. I love that.
How are we supposed to know if we are supposed to use the components or?
Good. In this case, where you were saying you were asked to use a suitable bar chart, use one, any of your choice. Is it clear? Not the two. But if they would demand one out of the two, they will tell you the one. Is it clear? So good. But otherwise, use any one, but not both. Eh? So are we done? Please, line graph, everybody. Line graph. I want to dictate.
Line.
Okay. So which one can I wipe? I can wipe on that problem. So let's go to this. A line graph is a plot of frequency against commodities using line. It is a graphical technique. So the main difference between a single bar chart and a line graph is that, in a single bar chart, you are using bars. In a line graph, you are using what? Line. So this is where I now want to refer. See what I'm going to do now. Example what? 4. Using the data in example what? Example 2. Plot the what? The line graph. You now see why I told you to put in numbers in your example, so that we can do what? Refer here.
It's supposed to be example 5.
Example 5?
Example 4.
Based on we use the components.
No, I can try both of them. It's one problem. That's when you say suitable. I wanted us to use the two so that you can actually choose your preference. So using the data in example 2, plot the what? The line graph. So this is what I'm going to do. Can I come back now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So all you would have to do, have you written this definition?
Yes, sir.
Can I write it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay. So after the line graph is which one? Pie chart. Is it not so?
Yes, sir.
Please, I would really love us to get the pie chart. Let me write this up. Thank God for the good neighbor beside you and pray for the good neighbor. What I mean by good neighbor is that a good neighbor would have written what you miss. So you can also, you can actually prepare. Now, let's, so the solution to the problem will be what? You put up the graph. This will be what you have. Let's do demarcations here. And let's do demarcations here. Now, please, you read one because I cleaned mine off. This is number of cars. Am I right? In millions. Is it not so? And this is years. I hope I'm right. Now, see what I'm going to do. I can leave 2 spaces and put here 210. Leave 2 spaces and put here 211. Leave 2 spaces or space 6 and put here 212. I'm putting this time around, you know, for bar chart I was putting it on that bar, but now I'm putting them directly on that line. So leave 2 spaces, I'm going to put here 213, 214, 215, and let's put dots there. So what I'm going to put here, because of those dots, is a zigzag, showing that it continues to the end. So you complete it. Now, I'll come over here using that same scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Please, I hope everybody in this class is feeling what I'm doing. Especially those of you at the voice water. I hope you are here. I will soon come and visit you. Okay, now, in 210, how many cars were imported? Check your example 2. How many cars were imported? 5. So see what you do. You just drag a line. Drag this line up to 5. And that's 4. Yes, go to 211. Under 210, you just drag a thing. This you are leaving. You could leave 1 space. You could leave 2 spaces, but there must be 1 space between what? Lines, not bars now. So I'm leaving 2 spaces before 210, 2 spaces after 210, 2 spaces after 211, and so on. Now, in 211, how many cars were imported? 7. You will just drag this up to what? 7. And that ends it. 212. 9. You drag this up to what? 9. And that's all. 213. 10. I will drag this up to 10. 214. 9. 213. 215, sorry. 2. Drag this up to 2. So you complete the rest. Is that difficult? Let's go to my chart. That's all about it. Pie chart. I want to end this class by 3:40. After pie chart is which one? Box plot. Box plot. Box plot. Eh? So let's see if we can get to box plot. They are not difficult. Please, none of them. When we use them, you will see they are not all difficult. Is it clear? They are very simple graphs. Let's go to pie chart. Please write. A pie chart. A pie chart. A pie chart. A pie chart is a sectored circle. That's one way to put it. A pie chart is what? A sectored circle. In other words, it is a circle in which the angles or values in each sector into which it is